So the first question is nasopalatine cyst. So what type of a cyst it is? It is a fissural cyst. Okay, nasopalatine is a fissural cyst. The next question is bifid tongue. So what is the cause of bifid tongue? It is due to the non-fusion of two lateral lingual swellings. So the lateral lingual swellings, when they don't join together, it results in a bifid tongue. Okay. So the next question is anodontia. So anodontia, it affects the growth of alveolar bone. Why is it so? Because in anodontia there is no teeth. So the function of the alveolar bone is basically to support the teeth. Even in edentulous patient, we can see that when there is loss of teeth, the alveolar bone slowly but gradually reduces. Okay, so in the patients who don't have teeth, that is in anodontia case, it affects the growth of alveolar bone. Okay, so the next question is delayed eruption. Delayed eruption, it is seen in which conditions? It is seen in rickets. Okay, then there is sclerocranial dysplasia and cherubism. So in these three conditions the eruption is delayed. So in conditions of rickets or cleidocranial dysplasia or cherubism, in these three conditions the teeth erupt late. Okay, so the next question is geographic tongue. So in geographic tongue, lesions can be seen bilaterally, they may be symmetrical. Mostly no treatment is required for geographic tongue, and it is mostly related to emotional stress. Okay, there is a child with a history of generalized growth failure or failure to thrive in first 6 months of life. So generally in such case there is enamel hypoplasia. Okay, moving on to the next question. There's a 4-year-old child. He presents with gray teeth. Okay, and there is extensive occlusal and incisal wear and tear of those teeth. The X-ray shows extensive deposits of secondary dentine. Okay, so what is this condition? This condition is dentinogenesis imperfecta. Okay, moving on to the next question. What is oligodontia? So oligodontia is a developmental abnormality where there are fewer number of teeth than normal. Okay, so less number of teeth will be present in the oral cavity in case of oligodontia. Okay, so the next question is about median rhomboid glossitis. So median rhomboid glossitis is generally associated with fungal infection. Okay, fungal infection. Okay, moving on to the next question. Which is the most commonly submerged tooth? Okay, the most commonly submerged tooth is mandibular primary second molar. Okay. Okay, so the next question is about Ipsian palls. What are Ipsian palls? They are the gingival cysts of the newborn. Okay, and they arise from the dental lamina. Ipsian palls are gingival cysts of newborn and they arise from dental lamina. Okay, so the next question is, what is dens in dent? Dens in dent is a condition of the tooth which happens due to deep invagination of enamel organ during formation. Okay. Okay, so the next question is, which is the most frequently missing permanent teeth? So the most frequently missing permanent tooth is maxillary lateral incisor. Okay, so the next question is, in which condition do you see Hutchinson's incisors? So Hutchinson's incisor are seen in congenital syphilis. Okay, so the next question is 15-year-old boy. He shows an inverted pear-shaped radiolucency between his upper central incisors. So, what is the diagnosis? So, it is globulomaxillary cyst. Okay, so the next question is which tooth is most commonly affected with odontodysplasia? Okay, so the answer is maxillary central incisors. So what is odontodysplasia? Odontodysplasia is an abnormal formation of the teeth. The enamel, dentin as well as pulp are affected. They are also called as ghost teeth. They show yellow crown and rough surface, very thin enamel. On X-ray, the teeth appear crumbled with abnormal radiolucency, therefore it is called as a ghost teeth. Then it is recognized at eruption of the deciduous or permanent teeth, and some teeth even fail to erupt. You can see large pulp chambers and wide root canals. What are the causes of odontodysplasia? The causes can be abnormal migration of neural crest cells, or a viral infection, or trauma, or malnutrition, or radiation. Okay, so moving on to the next question. So what is common between dentinogenesis imperfecta, cleidocranial dysostosis, and amelogenesis imperfecta? So the common thing is all these three conditions are hereditary in nature. Okay, which is the second most common supernumerary teeth? Okay, the second most common supernumerary teeth is distomolar in maxilla, which lies distal to the third molar. Okay. Okay, so the next question is Turner's hyperplasia. Which tooth is most commonly affected by Turner's hyperplasia? So they are permanent maxillary anteriors. Okay. Now the next question is about shell teeth. So shell teeth, they were initially reported in Brandywine population. Okay. You can see presence of normal enamel while the dentin is extremely thin and the pulp chamber is large. The roots are short, and such teeth are commonly seen in dentinogenesis imperfecta type 2. Okay, so the next question, in which conditions can you see complete obliteration of the pulp chamber? So complete obliteration of the pulp chamber can be seen in type 1 dentinogenesis imperfecta, type 3 dentinogenesis imperfecta, and dentin dysplasia. Okay, and in contrast you can see larger than normal pulp chambers in type 2 dentinogenesis imperfecta. Okay.